Number two, this theory of a mid-tribulation rapture, which means Christians go halfway through the tribulation before the rapture takes place.
One pastor who has been vocal about the rapture in recent years is Robert Breaker. According to him, the end is nearer than we can even fathom. But does this represent the view of all Christians? In conjunction with Robert Breaker's belief, we can see the signs of the rapture already dramatically playing out.
If you're a real Christian, I don't know, you're like, did I miss the rapture? I mean, I've heard about it. It's where Jesus takes everybody home. Did I miss it? How many of you lately are like, are there any real Christians left?
There are various perspectives on the rapture that you may agree with, depending on your eschatological stance. Doctrine about the catching away of believers has been a part of Christian theology since the 1st century, regardless of personal or denominational interpretation. Matthew 24 and Luke 21 are two of the most well-known texts describing the end times. These two chapters document Jesus' response to a query concerning the temple's destruction. Christ foretold things that would happen before the end of the world, in addition to specific events about Jerusalem. John receives visions from Jesus in Revelation 4. We also find more details on the rapture. Combining these passages allows us to see glimpses of what lies ahead. The approaching rapture is another sign of the end. However, false Christ will be part of the numerous signs of the rapture. As the day approaches, there would be a false Christ, Jesus told his disciples in Matthew 24, 4-5. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. However, these are not the only signs given in the Bible. What about wars and rumors of war? However, you might be familiar with Charles Manson, Jim Jones, and David Koresh. Each of these men professed to be Christ. Did you know that? For example, David Ulroy, a Jew who was born and raised in Kurdistan, gained a sizable fanbase in 1121 AD, convincing followers to try an abortive revolution against Sujak Sultan Mukhtar. He promised to establish a monarchy in Jerusalem. It's difficult to pinpoint which of these people we should be on the lookout for, because they have appeared throughout church history. However, Christ only came once and won't return until the last resurrection, so we should be cautious of anyone claiming to be him. Matthew 24, 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Critics claim that conflicts, battles, and skirmishes are commonplace in human history. However, the Uppsala Conflict Data Program and Peace Research Institute report that since 2011, the number of clashes has sharply grown. The 20th century was dominated by war and conflict that continually shifted the balance of power around the globe, historian Jennifer Rosenberg remarked, referring to anything from civil wars and coups to international conflicts. We can wonder, what's the trend when we combine this data with the alarming war statistics of the 21st century? Could the rise in conflict and destruction be a hint that Jesus will return soon? However, there are yet many more signs.
So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 1-4, we have what I like to call a warning.
As the return of the Lord approaches, there will be internal and external wars, as seen in the Bible also. Matthew 24, 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. Despite being similar to the preceding sign, this harbinger is different in that the translated term nations relates to ethnicity. In addition to conflicts between similar sovereign territories, believers should anticipate instability within nations or regions. According to John Gill, this appears to be foreboding the general calamity of the Jews, that there should be not only seditions and wars in the midst of their country, but there should be wars in other nations, one with another, and with the Jews, and the Jews with them, among many prophecies that Jesus gave in Matthew 24. We should consider the following while examining international conflicts. Which conflicts involve the contemporary state of Israel? Not only that, there will be natural and supernatural disasters as part of the signs. Luke 21, 11. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Jesus foretold that such catastrophes would affect food security and raise mortality rates. The birth pains mentioned in the Bible could be caused by viruses like COVID-19 and Ebola, resistant strains of superbugs, poor food delivery systems, and environmental issues. As we watch the news, we can wonder if health issues and natural disasters are getting out of hand. Not only do crises happen every 10 or 20 years, but many of them do for causes that are beyond our complete comprehension. As the day draws closer, men will love themselves more than others. Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. The ensuing passages provide additional insight into the regrettable outcomes of such heartlessness, including individuals giving up their faith, partnerships being deceived, and people compromising their relationships with God and one another. Although there is a lot of strife in the world already, it is important to consider where we notice the increase in heartlessness. It could be a lack of polite public conduct or an increase in racial violence. Whatever it is, we ought to be aware. Also, there will be a rise in persecution. Matthew 24:9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. However, 1 in 7 Christians experiences high levels of persecution, which corresponds to more prejudice than any other faith in the world. When Jesus says, "A servant is not greater than his master," in Matthew 24:9, it seems to appear to apply to Christians as well. You will be persecuted if they persecute me. John 15:20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. The impact of persecution on Jews must also be taken into account. According to Cornelis Venema, dispensationalism, the end times perspective that places strong emphasis on the rapture, emphasizes that Israel will continue to play a significant role in end-time events because it still has a position in God's plan. Then, there will also be the gospel preached everywhere and to everyone. Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. As part of the Great Commission, Christians naturally seek to spread the gospel of Christ to everyone. This objective has been greatly facilitated by the printing press and modern mass communication tools. Scholars have translated at least a portion of the Bible into more than 3,000 of the roughly 7,000 languages, since Luther translated it from Latin to French in 1522. Although there is still a lot of work to be done, according to translators who are working on Bible versions in every language. According to Wycliffe Bible translators, 828 languages have work in progress, and 1,892 languages still need translation work to begin, which will serve the needs of 67.6 million people. Therefore, even though it will take some time for every tribe and tongue to have access to the Bible, we have the fulfillment of this end times prophecy within our sight. Knowing that the rapture and Jesus' ultimate triumph over evil will come after, nevertheless, we should embrace and support this objective. After all of these events, we may now expect the final call, the trumpet call. There are additional hints regarding the rapture in the last and most enigmatic book of the Bible, Revelation. Revelation 4:1-2. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. Given everything that is happening in our world right now, one can confidently declare, like Robert Breaker, that the end and the rapture are already near. Nevertheless, many people continue to question if the rapture is a real event or merely a fantasy. How do you feel about the signs of the rapture? Leave your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Until next time, thanks for watching.